12 strategies to become a millionaire in 30 days. Do you really think you'll ever be a millionaire with the thoughts you're feeding your mind every single day? Let me ask you something brutal, and this might sting. Do you honestly believe that with that weak, tired, defeated mindset, you'll get anywhere near the life you dream of? Let's be real. If nothing changes in your head, nothing will change in your world. You scroll through social media. You save videos. You write down quotes. But you don't act. You don't live what you claim to want. You say you want to be rich, but deep down, you're still carrying the beliefs of someone who expects to lose. And I'm here to tell you, as harshly and as directly as I can, that if you don't change your internal world, you will never reach the external success you crave. That's right. You can hate me for saying it. But my mission isn't to make you feel good. My mission is to wake you up. Because I know what's possible for you. I've seen too many people transform. People who were broke, lost, invisible. And in 30 days, they became mentally unstoppable. And when the mind transforms, reality starts to bend. So today, I'm going to give you 12 strategies that can, and will, make you a millionaire in just 30 days. But listen carefully. I'm not talking about hitting the lottery. I'm not selling a get-rich-quick fantasy. I'm talking about becoming a millionaire in the one place that actually matters. Your mind. Because if you can build a millionaire mind in 30 days, your life will start reflecting it in ways you never imagined. This is not for the weak. This is not for the complainers. This is for the ones who are done playing small and ready to claim what's theirs. So stay with me until the end. Every single one of these 12 strategies is a step, a shift, a mental weapon. If you truly apply what I'm about to share with you, you'll never think like a broke person again. And once your thinking changes, your income, your energy, your confidence, your purpose, it will all rise with it. But first, do something that tells the universe you're ready. Subscribe to the channel I Am Prosperous, because that's what you're becoming, starting now. And I want you to comment below. Type 1 if this video is exactly what you needed. Type 2 if you're still unsure, but you're open to listening. And smash that like button so this message can reach others who are trapped in mental poverty, just like you might have been yesterday. Now take a deep breath. Because what you're about to hear has the power to flip your identity upside down. Let's begin. A 5-second message. Are you in debt? Want to know how to always have money? After watching this video, click the first link below, in the description or the pinned comment. Discover the Live Always with Money method. Find out the 10 steps that are changing lives. Link in the description and pinned comment. And for you, the one who knows you were born to be a millionaire, to be rich, I invite you to discover how to get rich through the power of thought. Access the method in the description. Golden Mindset, 30 Steps to Wealth Through the Power of the Mind. Reprogramming your inner dialogue. The voice in your head is either building your empire or burning it down. Let's be honest. If someone else talked to you the way you talk to yourself, you'd probably cut them out of your life. And yet, you've allowed this inner voice, this silent destroyer, to sit in the front seat of your mind, steering you into smallness, fear, and mediocrity. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about mental warfare. Because the war for your future is being fought in whispers. The whispers you say to yourself when no one's watching. Every sentence you repeat becomes a command to your subconscious. I'm not ready. I always mess up. I never finish anything. These are not harmless thoughts. They are toxic affirmations. And every time you repeat them, you carve failure deeper into your identity. You weren't born doubting yourself. That voice was installed by parents, teachers, failures, comparisons, the world. But if it was installed, it can be replaced. You are not your past voice. You are the programmer. And it's time to write a new code. Here's the truth they don't teach in school. Words become beliefs. Beliefs become behaviors. And behaviors become results. So if your results are screaming lack, your inner dialogue is likely whispering, I don't deserve more. Your mission now is to rewire the voice. Not once. Not when it's convenient. But every single day. Especially when it's hard. You must build a new internal narrator, one that doesn't flinch under pressure. A voice that speaks power into you when the world tries to break you down. Start by noticing the patterns. Catch the moment you say, I always fail. Interrupt it. Replace it with, I'm learning fast. I'm leveling up. I'm evolving. The first time you say it, your mind will resist. It will call you a liar. That's okay. You've trained it to doubt for years. It will take repetition to make it believe again. But repetition is power. Every, I am capable. Every, I am worthy. Every, I am already becoming, is another brick in the empire you're building internally. Do it out loud. Look in the mirror and say it until it no longer feels awkward. It feels true. Because here's the secret. You don't say these things because they're already true. You say them until they become true. The mind believes what it hears the most. So make sure it hears your voice declaring victory before the results ever show up. You don't wait to become successful to speak like a success. You speak like a success so you can become one. Your future isn't being shaped by your environment. It's being shaped by the quiet, private conversations you're having with yourself. So make those conversations sacred. Make them fierce. Make them unstoppable. Your inner voice is the first millionaire you must train. And when it finally starts speaking in alignment with your greatness, the world will have no choice but to respond. A 5-second message. Are you in debt? Want to know how to always have money? After watching this video, click the first link below, in the description or the pinned comment. Discover the Live Always with Money method. Find out the 10 steps that are changing lives. Link in the description and pinned comment. And for you, the one who knows you were born to be a millionaire, to be rich, I invite you to discover how to get rich through the power of thought. Access the method in the description. Golden Mindset, 30 Steps to Wealth Through the Power of the Mind. Declaring war on limiting beliefs. You weren't born broken. You were taught to believe you are. There's a quiet prison inside your head, and you've been living in it for years. It has no bars, no guards, just stories. Stories told to you by people who gave up on their own dreams and passed down the chains of fear like a family heirloom. You're not smart enough. People like us never make it. Don't get your hopes up. These aren't harmless comments. They are mental landmines. And every time you accept one without question, you bury your potential a little deeper. You want to become a millionaire in 30 days. Mentally first? Then you must become a warrior of the mind. Not polite. Not passive, but ruthless. Every limiting belief you've adopted is a lie wearing the disguise of truth. But you've heard them so many times, you started to treat them like laws. Laws like, you have to work 40 years to earn freedom. If you didn't succeed by 30, it's too late. Rich people are greedy. Stability is better than risk. Who wrote these rules? Who benefits when you believe them? Because it's certainly not you. You weren't put on this planet to shrink. You were designed to expand, to build, to create, to rise. But none of that is possible while you're still bowing to the invisible gods of limitation. The second strategy to become a millionaire in thought is this. Question everything that keeps you small. When you hear the voice that says, you can't, don't argue. Tack. Where did I learn this? Who benefits if I stay broke, scared, and average? What if the opposite is true? You see, beliefs aren't facts. They're just patterns of thought, repeated long enough to feel real. And the most dangerous beliefs are the ones you never examine. You can't change your life if you're defending your limitations. You can't rise while clinging to beliefs that were never yours to begin with. This is war, not against the world, but against the false programming in your mind. Every time you dismantle a limiting belief, you reclaim territory in your inner world. And every inch matters, because your outer world will never grow bigger than the boundaries of your belief system. Burn the old maps. Erase the fake ceilings. Reject the lies that were handed to you by people too afraid to dream. Start saying, I create my own rules. I am not the opinions of others. My potential is not up for debate. This is how you become free, not when your bank account is full, but when your mind stops acting like it's already bankrupt. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need credentials to believe in yourself. You don't need history to predict your future. You need one thing: the courage to burn down every lie that tells you you're not enough. When those beliefs fall, your real self will rise. Building a mental image of your richest self. You cannot become what you cannot see. Every revolution begins in the imagination. Before a single dollar appears, before anyone believes in you, before the world even notices, you must be able to see yourself there. Not vaguely, not hopefully, with clarity so vivid it feels like memory. Can you picture the wealthiest version of yourself? Not just financially, but mentally unshakable, spiritually grounded, and magnetically powerful? Most people can't. They're too buried in survival to dream in detail. They're so used to seeing themselves broke, lost, tired, and doubting, that the rich version of themselves feels like someone else entirely. But here's a truth that the world will never force-feed you. If the image of your future isn't stronger than the memory of your past, you'll always repeat the past. The third strategy is to build a mental movie of your richest self. Not a fantasy. A blueprint. You are the director, the actor, the writer, the audience. So ask yourself, who is that version of you? What time do they rise? And what thoughts greet them in the morning? How do they sit, speak, and move through the day? What kind of clothes do they choose, not because of fashion, but because of identity? How do they treat others? And how do they expect to be treated? How do they walk into a room, with hesitation or with presence that shifts the air? What kind of goals do they set? And do they chase or command them? This is not daydreaming. This is mental architecture. If you give your mind nothing to aim for, it will default to what's familiar. And if what's familiar is small, broke, and insecure, that's the script you'll keep replaying. So stop letting your future be blurry. You can't hit a target you can't see. Every single day, not once, but daily, sit in silence and run the mental film. Not as a spectator, but as the star. Feel it, own it, breathe it. You're not watching a stranger. You're watching yourself, upgraded, elevated, unlocked. Let the image saturate your nervous system until it becomes your new baseline. Because the truth is, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. So when you train it to see a version of you that is bold, certain, and rich in every way, it starts to make decisions in alignment with that identity. Suddenly, you walk differently. You talk with more authority. You enter rooms expecting opportunities instead of hoping for scraps. And guess what? The world responds accordingly. Most people are waiting to see evidence before they believe. But the elite, they believe first, and the evidence follows. Your current self is not the final version. It's the starting point. And the richest version of you is already alive, waiting to be activated through vision. You don't chase that version. You embody it now, in thought, in energy, in presence. You don't need permission to evolve. You only need the courage to see it clearly enough that you refuse to settle for anything less. Emotional conditioning for wealth. Your emotions are not passengers. They are the engine. Before money ever arrives, before opportunities find your door, before anyone even notices you, o universo já lua frequência do seu corpo. And here's the brutal truth. You can't fake the frequency of wealth. You can't whisper affirmations in the mirror while your nervous system is vibrating with anxiety, fear, and desperation. You can't expect abundance when your emotional baseline is built on lack. Because money doesn't respond to words. It responds to states. Most people live in an emotional echo chamber, bouncing between fear of failure and fear of success, between self-doubt and resentment. They walk like they've already lost. Breathe like they don't belong. Speak like their dreams are negotiable. Then they wonder why abundance never arrives. The fourth strategy is emotional conditioning, training your body, breath, and biochemistry to feel like wealth is already yours. Not hoping, not pretending, embodied certainty. Wake up and command your body to remember who you are becoming. Stand like someone the world wants to follow. Speak like your words shape reality, because they do. Breathe like someone who's never rushed, never behind, never out of alignment. This is not arrogance. It's alignment. You're not faking confidence. You're reclaiming it. You're not acting rich. You're revealing the version of you that already exists in potential. But here's the thing. Your body has memory. It remembers every time you doubted. Every time you broke a promise to yourself. Every moment of panic, guilt, shame. So now, your job is to overwrite that memory with new signals. Signals of power. Signals of safety. Signals of worthiness. Every morning, drop into stillness. Then rise with intention. Say to yourself, not as a mantra, but as a declaration, I am the source of wealth. I am the channel. I am the proof. Feel that truth in your chest, in your breath, in your spine. Move through your day like abundance is chasing you. Because when your emotional state shifts, reality has no choice but to catch up. You won't magnetize wealth by hustling harder while your heart is full of fear. You magnetize it by becoming the kind of person who feels safe holding it, who feels deserving of it. Because here's the secret no one tells you. The universe is generous. But it's not random. It delivers based on energetic congruence. Not your desperation, not your struggle, not your timeline. And the most powerful signal you can send is emotional sovereignty. I no longer beg. I no longer chase. I embody. That's what makes money move. Not panic. Not pressure. Power. So don't just ask for wealth. Feel like someone who already knows it's coming. Because once your emotions align with your intention, you won't just wish for success. You'll expect it. And that expectation? It's the doorway to everything you desire. Breaking mental addictions to failure. Some people don't fear failure. They crave it. Because it's what they know. It's what feels safe. They've worn disappointment like a second skin for so long that anything different feels like a threat. Here's a truth that may sting. Some people are more comfortable losing than they are winning. Because failure, as painful as it is, doesn't challenge them to change. It allows them to stay where they are, angry, small, overlooked, but familiar. They wake up each day carrying invisible chains made of excuses, trauma, bitterness, and blame, calling it reality. And somewhere along the way, they began to believe that being broken made them special, that being in pain made them pure. But here's the lie hiding underneath that mask. Suffering is not your destiny. You are not more valuable because you've been through hell. You are valuable because you have the power to rise out of it. The fifth strategy is simple but violent. Break your addiction to failure. Rip it from your identity like a parasite that's been feeding on your power. Stop clinging to the idea that struggle makes you noble. Stop telling the story of how hard life is, and start writing the story of how you overcame. Many people live inside a psychological loop. They try. They fail. They feel shame. Then they say, "See? I knew I couldn't do it." And that becomes the justification to never try again. That's not humility. That's self-sabotage wrapped in comfort. The truth is, if you've worn pain long enough, success will feel like betrayal. Joy will feel undeserved. Peace will feel fake. So your mind will look for ways to go back to what it knows. Chaos. Toxic relationships. Bad decisions. Procrastination. Anything that can return you to the emotional state of being less than. Because that's the story you're addicted to. But if you want a new life, you need a new identity. One that doesn't feed on wounds. One that isn't built on being the underdog forever. You weren't born to just survive. You were born to dominate the circumstances that tried to bury you. So here's what you do. Stop mourning your past and start confronting your patterns. Stop glorifying pain and start normalizing progress. Stop telling the world who hurt you and start showing the world what you're capable of. Because success won't stay with someone who doesn't believe they deserve it. And no one addicted to losing can hold on to winning for long. You must choose to no longer identify as the one who almost made it, who always struggles, who's constantly starting over. That identity, it's not who you are, it's who you were trained to be. But you can unlearn it. You can uninstall the mental code that says you only matter when you're broken. You are not a victim of your story. You are the author. And the next chapter doesn't have to look like the last one, unless you keep clinging to the same title. So burn the identity of failure. And when the ashes settle, step into a life that no longer needs permission to shine. Guarding the gates of the mind. Your mind is sacred ground. What you allow in will either build your empire or burn it to the ground. You can't plant seeds of wealth and water them with poison. You can't dream of success while feeding on fear, noise, and mediocrity. And yet, most people do exactly that. They wake up and reach for their phones. The first thing they consume is outrage, chaos, and the curated misery of strangers. News that glorifies catastrophe. Posts that scream, "You're not enough."
Voices that mock ambition and celebrate defeat.
And they wonder why they feel stuck, why they doubt, why they can't hear their own vision over the static of the world. Here's the truth. What you consume mentally becomes your internal reality.
And eventually, it becomes your external one.
The sixth strategy is not soft. It is not polite. It is ruthless mental hygiene. Guard your mind like a billionaire guards a vault, because that's what it is. Your thoughts are currency. Your focus is gold. Your attention is the most valuable asset you own. So why are you spending it on garbage? Start today. Audit every source of input in your life.
What shows do you watch? What music do you let echo through your home?
What kind of conversations do you tolerate? What accounts do you follow? If it doesn't elevate you, eliminate it. Mental junk food is just as dangerous as physical junk food. Clogs your clarity. It numbs your creativity. It makes your mind sluggish and your soul heavy. You cannot afford that. Not now. Not ever. Because here's the truth no one will say out loud. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. You can have the most disciplined intention in the world, but if you keep swimming in dirty water, you will get sick. So purify your mental space. Turn down the volume of everything that contradicts your purpose. That means, block out gossip. It teaches you to celebrate someone else's downfall instead of your own rise. Ignore drama. It distracts you from your own script. Cancel negativity. It spreads like a virus, one sarcastic comment at a time. Silence cynicism. It's just fear dressed up as intelligence. Then replace that noise with power. Listen to voices that make you feel alive. Read words that build empires in your soul. Follow people who make you uncomfortable with how possible greatness looks. Create a fortress around your focus. Not a prison, a sanctuary. A space where your dreams don't get laughed at. Where your vision doesn't shrink to fit someone else's fear. Because your mind will always reflect what it absorbs. And the world outside will always reflect what's going on inside. You are not just becoming a millionaire. You are becoming someone who thinks, lives, and protects their peace like one. So be vigilant. Be selective. Be unapologetic. Your future is too valuable to let just anything walk through the door of your mind. Adopting the millionaire pace. Time is the greatest illusion for those who believe they have enough of it. Millionaires know better. There is a rhythm to greatness. It's not frantic. It's not sluggish. It doesn't look like hustle porn, nor does it resemble apathy. It's something else entirely. It's a divine tempo, a deliberate cadence that turns seconds into seeds and days into dynasties. Most people are moving through life either like chickens with their heads cut off or like corpses that forgot to lie down. They rush to feel alive, then crash into exhaustion and call it productivity. Or they drift in stillness, convincing themselves they're being present, while time eats away their potential. But millionaires, they walk like time owes them something. They breathe like each moment is currency. They don't run, they advance. This is the seventh strategy. You must adopt the millionaire pace. Not a sprint, not a crawl, but a sovereign rhythm that tells the world, I know exactly where I'm going. Let's be clear. This is not about speed. This is about intention. It's about moving in alignment with your vision, not your anxiety. It's about refusing to be reactive, while never being passive. It's about collapsing the gap between idea and execution. Here's what most don't realize. Procrastination is not a scheduling issue. It's an identity issue. You delay because your inner world doesn't yet believe you're worthy of now. So you hide behind later. You stall behind perfectionism, distraction, and fake busyness, because taking real action would expose how long you've been pretending. But what if you only had 30 days to change your mental DNA? What if, in the next month, your internal world had to match the frequency of someone worth $1 million? Or you'd lose the shot forever. Would you waste time scrolling? Would you argue over petty things? Would you gossip, complain, hesitate, binge, or sleepwalk through your purpose? Or would you walk like you're on sacred ground? Because every step matters now. You don't rise by rushing. You rise by removing what slows you down. Millionaire pace means you stop multitasking your destiny. You stop giving mediocre energy to critical missions. You stop tolerating indecision as if it doesn't carry a cost. Decide, then move. Move, then adjust. Adjust, then keep going. That's how empires are built. Not in chaos, but in momentum. Observe the truly successful. Their calendars are war plans. Their mornings are sacred rituals. Their evenings are reflections, not escapes. They don't let days blur into weeks. They cut through time like it's an investment portfolio. Every hour must return more than it cost. You, too, must begin to treat your time as the most expensive asset you own. Not because you have less of it, but because you finally value it. The millionaire pace is rooted in clarity. People who move with clarity never need to rush, because they're always on time with their purpose. They're not driven by reaction. They're pulled by vision. Every action is deliberate. Every conversation has weight. Every habit, every meal, every breath. Chosen, not defaulted. This is how you shift the entire trajectory of your life. By walking with the intensity of someone who knows that your time is not promised, and your dream has a deadline. Let others waste their days waiting for permission. Let them argue over trivial matters, sink into distractions, hide behind future plans. You show up now. You move like royalty on a mission. You breathe like every inhale could be the fuel to your legacy. And you stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Because people who live in tomorrow are always broke in today. Want to become a millionaire in thought within 30 days? Then walk like your soul signed a contract with destiny, and the countdown has already begun. This is the millionaire pace. A life without dead seconds. No wasted movement. No unnecessary words. No energy spent convincing people who don't even believe in themselves. Just movement. Intentional. Focused. Fierce. You don't need to go faster. You need to go truer. From this moment forward, every step you take is either towards your throne or away from it. Choose your pace like your future depends on it. Because it does. Eliminating thought patterns that delay action. There is no tomorrow in the mind of a millionaire. Only now, or never. There is a silent killer of dreams walking among us. It doesn't scream. It doesn't stab. It whispers. Maybe later. Give it some time. Let me think about it. These are not harmless thoughts. They are intellectual traps. They are seductive poisons dressed as logic. And they destroy more futures than failure ever will. The eighth strategy is brutal, but necessary. Eliminate every thought that delays your next move. Because every second you spend thinking about acting, instead of acting, you train your mind to flinch, and flinching becomes your identity. Let's get real. How many things do you know you should have done by now? That project, that business idea, that message, that new habit, that bold decision you kept postponing because the timing wasn't right. And now, it's still not done. Because the lie of later is a bottomless pit. It never ends. It never delivers. It only drains. Millionaire minds are built on bias for action. They don't wait for clarity. They create it. They don't wait for motivation. They generate it. They don't wait for permission. They grant it to themselves. They move. Fast. Decisively. Bravely. Why? Because they understand a terrifying truth. Every time you hesitate, your dream dies a little. You may not feel it right away. But with each delay, something inside you becomes more numb, more afraid, more comfortable in the safety of stillness, and slowly allergic to motion. The mind learns what you repeat. When you delay once, it becomes easier to delay again. When you wait until you feel ready, you teach your nervous system that fear has authority. When you stall, you sell your momentum for pennies of temporary comfort. Do that enough times, and you become a master procrastinator. Not because you're lazy, but because you've trained yourself to believe that stillness is safer than speed. It's not. Stillness rots. Speed refines. There's a lie we tell ourselves. I'm just being careful. But millionaires know, most caution is just disguised doubt. You don't need more planning. You need more courage. You don't need more certainty. You need more trust in your ability to adapt. You don't need a perfect moment. You need this moment. Imperfect action will always beat perfect hesitation. Think of your life like a rocket launch. Waiting doesn't lift you off the ground. It just burns fuel. It just creates tension. It just makes the voice of fear louder and the door of possibility smaller. There is no reward for people who wait their way into success. There is no crown for those who almost tried. There is no legacy built on someday. You want to rewire your mind for wealth? Then treat every delayed decision like a fire you have to put out. Don't give yourself the luxury of overthinking. Decide fast. Correct as you go. Move while the idea is hot, while the instinct is alive, while the window is open. Millionaire thinkers live in motion. They don't ask, "What if I fail?" They ask, "What will it cost me to wait?" Because waiting always has a cost. It costs energy. It costs clarity. It costs opportunities that don't come back. And it costs identity. Every time you delay, you become someone who tolerates being stuck. The longer you pause, the heavier the chains become. But the moment you act, even clumsily, even scared, you shatter the illusion. You send a new signal to your brain. I move. I act. I lead. And your brain listens. That's how confidence is built. Not through thinking, but through motion. Not through analyzing every angle, but by stepping into the unknown and surviving it. Want to stop doubting yourself? Then act faster than your doubt can speak. Want to stop procrastinating? Then stop waiting to feel like it. Move anyway. Feel later. You are not a statue. You are not a thinker trapped in endless theory. You are a force. A decision maker. A builder of realities. And builders don't wait for the weather to be perfect. They start laying bricks while the sky is still storming. Repeat after me. I will not delay my destiny. Say it again. I will not delay my destiny. Because nothing will rob you faster than your own hesitation. Nothing will imprison your brilliance faster than the thoughts that say, "Just a little more time." There is no more time. There is only this time. Make it count. Make it move. Make it yours. Creating a mental obsession with solutions. Where others see problems, millionaires smell opportunity. Some minds collapse at the sight of adversity. Others catch fire. The difference? One sees a wall. The other sees a door. Hidden, maybe locked, but always there. The ninth mental strategy is not glamorous. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't seduce the lazy. But it builds empires. It is this: develop an obsessive, relentless, unshakable relationship with solving problems. You see, the poor mind doesn't necessarily lack intelligence. It lacks orientation. It fixates on what's wrong, and feeds it with emotion, with story, with excuses. Why me? Why now? Why this? Those are the chants of the defeated. And they echo endlessly inside the skulls of those who have surrendered to circumstances. But the rich mind is allergic to that frequency. It doesn't sit with the question, "Why me?" It asks, "What now? What's the opportunity hiding inside this chaos? What is life trying to teach me through this obstacle? What's the next move?" Because life is a game of direction. You move toward what you focus on. And if you lock your inner eye on the problem, you become it. You shrink. You overthink. You loop. But if you set your mind like a heat-seeking missile on solutions, the game shifts. You override the emotional panic. You activate your creative genius. You become unstoppable. Millionaire thinkers are not just optimistic, they're practical visionaries. They've trained their inner world to see detours as discovery points. They have built reflexes that say, "There must be a way. Let's find it." Where most people freeze, they flow. Where others point fingers, they build bridges. Where the average person shuts down, they gear up. You cannot afford the luxury of complaining. Complaining is a mental drug. It gives you a quick release, but destroys long-term strength. It feeds helplessness. It rewards inaction. It feels good for a second, and leaves you paralyzed for a lifetime. Millionaire minds despise that state. They know, whining is a prayer to the gods of failure. So they train themselves to respond to adversity with precision and purpose. A product failed? They ask, "What can we learn?" A deal collapsed? They ask, Where's the next door? A plan derailed? They ask, how can we rebuild stronger? That is mental wealth. Not just thinking about money, but thinking like someone who creates it. Over and over again. Not because it's easy, but because their mind doesn't tolerate stagnation. Let me ask you this. What do you do when things don't go as planned? Do you sink into story mode? Do you reach for blame like a crutch? Do you dramatize and paralyze? Or do you breathe, shift your energy, and go hunting for the hidden advantage? This isn't positive thinking. This is warrior thinking. This is millionaire muscle, built in the gym of setbacks, sweat, and strategic thinking. If you want to become mentally rich, you must stop feeding your brain with reasons it can't and start flooding it with demands to find how it can. Start asking stronger questions. What can I control right now? Who can help me figure this out? What's the smallest action I can take toward resolution? How can I turn this pain into power? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your mind, and the quality of your mind determines the quality of your income. Train yourself daily. When a small problem shows up, don't ignore it. Attack it with curiosity. Train your brain to want puzzles, to thirst for pressure, to crave discomfort, not as a punishment, but as a forge. Because every problem you solve adds capital to your mental bank. It makes you sharper. It makes you faster. It makes you more valuable. The world pays problem solvers, not complainers, not reactors, not philosophers, but doers. People who walk into messes and come out with blueprints. And here's the best part. You don't need to be a genius to become solution-obsessed. You need only one thing, a rule. No problem leaves my hands unsolved. Adopt that identity. Live by it. Tattoo it in your habits. And then become dangerous. Become the kind of person who walks into meetings and lights them up with answers. Become the kind of mind that can sit with chaos and pull out clarity. Become the one who doesn't flinch in front of complexity, but dances with it. If you do this, not once, not twice, but daily, you will become a person the world cannot ignore. Because you'll be rare. And rare minds are always rich, even before the bank balance reflects it. Remember, problems are just invitations dressed as frustrations. Accept the invitation. Show up. Deliver solutions. Repeat. That's how millionaires think. That's how they move. And if you want to join them, you must train your mind to crave answers more than comfort. This isn't about feeling good. It's about becoming good. At solving. At leading. At winning. No more emotional paralysis. No more passive frustration. From now on, you're the solution factory. Start building. Living like the result is already yours.
There is a secret that turns dreamers into achievers, and wanderers into warriors of purpose.
It is the art of living from the future, not chasing it. And this isn't about wishful thinking. This is about identity transformation at the deepest level of your being.
Because the truth is, you don't manifest what you want.
You manifest what you are.
That's why the 10th strategy to becoming a millionaire in 30 days, mentally first, is this: live, breathe, speak, and walk like the result is already yours.
Not next year. Not next month. Now.
Most people build their lives backwards. They wait for external validation to give them permission to believe. They think, once I have the success, I'll feel confident. Once I see results, I'll act bolder. Once I have money, I'll think like a millionaire.
But that equation is broken. That formula never works.
Here's the truth they don't teach you in school. The external world bends to match the frequency of your internal world. It doesn't give you what you desire. It gives you what you embody.
So, what would it look like if you started embodying the result today? Ask yourself,
if I already had the financial freedom I crave, if I already had the business that thrives, if I already had the confidence of a millionaire, how would I start my mornings? What choices would I make under pressure? How would I speak to others? How would I carry myself in a room full of power? Let your answers shape your behavior immediately. This is not play pretend. This is neurological rewiring. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined state and a physically lived one.
That means when you consistently think from your outcome,
Your subconscious begins adapting to that identity, and your habits, beliefs, and behaviors begin aligning automatically with that new standard. When you think from lack, you create more of it. When you think from victory, you summon opportunities, relationships, and decisions that match the frequency of success. Living like the result is already yours means moving with unshakable certainty. It means walking into every situation with the quiet confidence of someone who already knows how the story ends. Not arrogance, but alignment. You begin to make decisions that your future self would thank you for. You stop negotiating with mediocrity. You stop begging for crumbs. You stop entertaining distractions. You operate with a new tempo. Bold, calm, sure. You don't hesitate. You don't stall. You move as if it's already done. Because mentally, it is. What does that do for you? It changes how others see you. People begin to feel the gravity of your belief. They sense the conviction, and that changes how they treat you. You get invited to rooms you once thought were closed. You attract allies who would have overlooked you before. You become magnetic. Because here's the hidden law. People don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the most certain energy. And when you stop looking at your dreams as distant fantasies and start experiencing them as present truths, you become unstoppable. So today, stop asking for permission to believe in yourself. Stop waiting for your environment to change before you change. You are the shift. You are the source. Dress like it. Think like it. Decide like it. Speak like it. Build like it. And above all, believe like it's already done. Because the mind that lives from the outcome inevitably creates it. Writing the script of your new identity. Identity is not a static thing. It's not a label that you've been handed by the world, your past, or your circumstances. Identity is a living, breathing narrative, and every day, you are the author of that story. Whether you realize it or not, your life is constantly being shaped by the words you speak about yourself, the beliefs you hold, and the actions you take. Now, most people live by a script that was written for them. This script may have been handed down by parents, teachers, society, or the failures they faced. These external forces dictate how they see themselves, how they act, and ultimately, the results they get in life. But here's the catch. If you're repeating someone else's script, you're not truly living your own life. You're living someone else's story. Strategy 11 is about taking control of the pen and rewriting the script of your life. It's about consciously crafting the story you want to live and claiming your new identity with purpose, power, and clarity. Start by asking yourself, who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to become? Are you the kind of person who waits for opportunities, or the one who creates them? Are you someone who reacts to the world, or someone who shapes it with confidence and intention? Your new identity doesn't just come from thinking positive thoughts or hoping for change. It comes from actively declaring who you are in a way that shakes your entire being. It's about speaking your new self into existence with conviction. The first step in this process is to write it down. Grab a piece of paper and write the words, "I am the kind of person who," and then finish that sentence powerfully. You might say, makes million-dollar decisions, believes in the impossible, turns pressure into diamonds, moves with unstoppable confidence, thrives in uncertainty, embraces challenges as opportunities, creates wealth from creativity, sets goals, then crushes them. Now, here's the critical part. Don't just write these words. Say them out loud every single day. Feel the power of those statements as you speak them. Let them resonate in every cell of your body. Let them penetrate your subconscious mind until they become your reality. Because the truth is, you don't get what you want. You get what you believe you are. Your identity is the foundation of everything you do. If you see yourself as someone who is destined for greatness, you will act in alignment with that belief. You will take actions that reflect your new identity, and the world will respond by giving you the opportunities, the people, and the circumstances that match your belief. On the other hand, if you see yourself as someone who isn't capable, someone who is stuck in their circumstances, or someone who is destined for failure, your actions will reflect that belief too. You'll hesitate. You'll make excuses. You'll let fear hold you back from taking risks. And, ultimately, you'll receive the results that reflect those limiting beliefs. But when you start living as the person you've written yourself to be, everything changes. This isn't just about writing some affirmations or positive mantras.
This is about actively shifting the way you identify yourself. You're not just repeating empty words. You are redefining who you are on a fundamental level. Think about the way millionaires think. They don't see themselves as average or limited by their circumstances. They see themselves as creators, as people who make decisions that impact the world around them. They see obstacles as stepping stones, challenges as opportunities to grow, and failure as a temporary setback that will be overcome. Now, what would happen if you did the same? What would happen if you began writing your own script and living it out every single day? What would happen if you saw yourself as a millionaire, not just in your dreams but in your actions, thoughts, and decisions? This is the power of Strategy 11. It's not just about changing your thoughts, it's about changing who you believe you are at the core. It's about rewriting your identity in a way that aligns with the success you are destined to achieve. Your identity is not something that's given to you by the world around you. It's something you create every single day with the words you speak, the choices you make, and the actions you take. If you want to become a millionaire, you must begin by seeing yourself as one, and living as one in every moment. So, write your script, say it out loud, burn it into your mind, and step into your new identity. The world will begin to reflect that change, and before you know it, you will have transformed your life in ways you never imagined. You are the author of your story, and if you want to be a millionaire, the first step is to write yourself as one. This is your life. This is your script. And now is the time to start writing the story you've always wanted to live. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Your new identity is waiting for you to step into it. Make it yours, and make it count. Falling in love with mental wealth first. At the end of this journey, after all the strategies, all the shifts, and all the growth you've experienced, there is one crucial truth that you must fully embrace. The key to sustaining wealth, true, lasting wealth, lies in the wealth of your mind. For many people, the idea of being wealthy is wrapped up in the physical symbols of success. The cars, the mansions, the accolades. These things become the driving force. They become the end goal, the shiny carrot that constantly dangles in front of them. But if you are seeking material wealth without first embracing mental wealth, you are missing the most important step. Strategy 12 is about embracing the idea that the first and most vital form of wealth is mental. If you don't cultivate this inner richness, if you don't fall deeply, passionately in love with your mental prosperity first, the material wealth will always be fleeting. It will come, but it will slip away just as easily as it arrived, because it wasn't rooted in the right foundation. Mental wealth is a state of being. It's an inner richness that has nothing to do with your current financial situation. It has everything to do with the beliefs you hold about yourself and your capacity to create, to achieve, and to overcome any challenges that come your way. It is the unshakable conviction that your thoughts and actions create your reality. It is the knowledge that everything you need to succeed is already within you. It is the deep knowing that your value doesn't come from the things you own but from who you are, how you think, and how you operate in the world. In the same way a plant needs the right soil, water, and sunlight to grow, your wealth needs the right mental environment to thrive. This is the essence of falling in love with mental wealth first. When you fall in love with your mental wealth, you shift your focus from external validation and material goals to internal validation and personal growth. You stop waiting for the right time, or the perfect conditions, to begin. You realize that the true power has always been inside you. You are the creator of your reality. When your spirit feels rich, when your mind is abundant, your life will follow suit. You no longer wait for the outside world to show you that you are a millionaire. You already know you are one mentally and emotionally, and because of that, the material wealth will come. The process of becoming a millionaire mentally is not a quick fix. It is not about playing a game or pretending to be something you're not. It's about consistently choosing to believe in your own worth, choosing to believe in the unlimited potential of your mind, and choosing to act from that place of abundance every single day. It's about falling in love with your mind, with the idea that you can create anything you set your heart on, because your mental wealth is the true source of all your material success. Once you fall in love with your mental wealth, you become invincible. You become immune to doubt, fear, and scarcity. You no longer seek validation from the world around you because you have already validated yourself. You don't need to prove your worth through external markers. Your wealth is rooted in your thoughts, in your identity, and in your belief that you are worthy of everything you desire. You've spent the last 30 days reshaping your thoughts, rebuilding your beliefs, and rising into a new identity. You've done the mental work. You've planted the seeds of success, and now you're standing in the fertile ground of your own potential. You are dangerous to mediocrity. The average mindset no longer fits you. You are now allergic to limitation, and you are on a path to creating your own version of greatness. You may not see all of the material wealth yet, but your mental state has shifted. The way you think has shifted. Your mindset has transformed from one of scarcity and lack to one of abundance and possibility. And that shift is the most powerful change you could ever make.
When you become a millionaire in mind, the physical world has no choice but to catch up.
The money will come. The opportunities will come. The people and the circumstances you need to achieve your goals will appear.
But none of that will matter if you haven't first solidified the foundation of your mental wealth.
That foundation is the key to everything.
The final, most important truth. You are now a millionaire in mind. This mental shift is the catalyst for everything that's coming next. You've broken through the mental barriers. You've created the vision of your richest self. You've embraced your power and your worth. And now, the world will align with your new reality. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a whole new chapter. The world is waiting for you to step into your full potential. You've done the inner work. Now it's time to take massive, inspired action and let your outer world reflect the wealth you've cultivated inside.
Final words. As you move forward, remember that this mental transformation is just the start. Your new life has already begun. Celebrate the millionaire you've become in thought, in spirit, and in belief. You've put in the work, and now your material wealth will follow. But most importantly, celebrate your mental wealth. It is your mind that shapes the world around you, and now you are equipped with the tools to create the life you've always dreamed of. So, let the world know. Comment, "I am a mental millionaire." Like this video if it woke something up inside you. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel I Am Prosperous, because this is just the beginning. The money will come. The reality will shift. But the mind had to change first. And you did it. Congratulations. You're 30 days into your new life. Welcome to the top. A tribute to you, who made it to the end. Congratulations. If you're reading this now, it means you've made it to the end of a transformative journey. You've traveled a path that few have the courage to walk. Many people start a journey like this, but few finish it. Few have the willpower to continue until the very end. Few have the courage to commit to themselves in the way you have. Reaching this point is no mere coincidence. It's a reflection of your commitment, of your deep desire to change your life, reach new heights, and turn your dreams into reality. And only those with an intense desire to achieve greatness are able to make it to the end. You, my friend, are one of those rare individuals. Now, look back and see everything you've achieved up until this moment. The simple fact that you dedicated your time and energy to change your mindset is already a tremendous victory. Many give up along the way, thinking the challenge is greater than the reward. But not you. You remained firm, you remained strong, and most importantly, you didn't let fear or doubt stop you. You deserve everything that is about to come your way. The road ahead of you is vast and full of possibilities, and you have everything you need to walk that road to success. The greatest secret to achieving everything you dream of is understanding that it all starts in the mind. Now that you've rebuilt your mentality, now that you've understood everything begins in your mind, you are prepared to take the steps that are required to achieve the success you've always dreamed of. But remember one very important thing. We are nothing without our Creator. Everything we have, everything we are, comes from Him. Success is a divine gift, and it's with humility and faith that we can achieve our goals. Never lose connection with the one who created you for a unique and grand purpose. Place your hands in God's hands, trust in His plan for your life, and have faith in Him. When you give your plans to Him, when you walk with faith and purpose, doors that once seemed closed will begin to open before you. So, don't be afraid to take the next step. Trust, give everything into God's hands, and know that everything will fall into place. He's always been by your side, guiding your steps, even in moments when you didn't realize it. You were made for greatness. Success is not distant or unreachable for you. Success is your destiny, and God has already prepared the path for you. With humility, perseverance, and above all, strength from the Spirit, you will accomplish everything you set out to do. Be strong, but also be humble. The power you hold within you is immense, but it is humility that will help you grow continually. Life will not always be easy. There will be moments of challenges, falls, and hardships. But it is in those moments that you must remember Victory is built through perseverance, through the falls, through the lessons learned, and the mistakes corrected. God does not place challenges in your path to make you fail, but to strengthen you. Believe in this. Adversity is an opportunity for growth. Perseverance is what transforms the weak into the strong and dreams into reality. Now that you've made it to this point, believe it or not, you're already at a new level. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. You've transformed, and this inner transformation will reflect outwardly in every area of your life. Opportunities are coming. Doors are opening, and you are more than ready to walk through them. But success is not a straight line. It is a journey. And even though you've reached this point, every new step is another chance to outdo yourself. Each day, you have the opportunity to become a better version of yourself. The most important thing is that you never stop. Never stop growing. Never stop learning. Never stop believing. Finally, I want to leave you with one last message. You were born to be a winner. It doesn't matter what's happened up until today. You have the strength within you to change anything. Your future is in your hands. Your destiny is shaped by the choices you make every single day. And the future is bright for those who believe and dedicate themselves. Now, rise with confidence. Rise with strength. Rise with faith. Because you are ready to achieve everything you've always dreamed of. The world is waiting for you, and you are more prepared than ever to take your place among the winners. Good luck, and may God bless every step of your journey. Remember, the best is yet to come. A 5-second message. Are you in debt? Want to know how to always have money? After watching this video, click the first link below, in the description or the pinned comment. Discover the Live Always with Money method. Find out the 10 steps that are changing lives. Link in the description and pinned comment. And for you, the one who knows you were born to be a millionaire, to be rich, I invite you to discover how to get rich through the power of thought. Access the method in the description. Golden Mindset, 30 Steps to Wealth Through the Power of the Mind.